Today, we're diving into something raw and real, something most people won't admit out loud. Let's face it, a lot of folks out there won't tell you straight to your face that they don't like you. Instead, they mask it with fake grins, empty praise, or that awkward politeness that feels more like a performance than a connection. I've been there myself, thinking someone was in my corner, only to realize they were quietly rooting for me to stumble. It's a tough pill to swallow, but here's the deal. If you don't learn to spot the signs, you'll waste your time and energy on people who, deep down, don't get you or value you. So, let's cut through the noise and break down the subtle hints that someone's hiding their true feelings about you. This might sting a little, but trust me, it's better to see things clearly than to stay in the dark. First up, they're always poking fun at your flaws. You know the type. Those people who can't resist a jab, always zeroing in on your quirks, your slip-ups, or those little things that make you, well, you. They'll hit you with a grin and say, "Oh, I'm just teasing." At first, it feels lighthearted, like no big deal. But let's not fool ourselves. There's often more to it than that. These aren't just random quips. They're little darts, carefully aimed to nick your confidence over time. I've had this happen to me. There was someone I used to hang out with who always had a joke ready about my style, my way of talking, even the dreams I was chasing. I'd laugh along, thinking it was all good vibes. But then I started noticing something. The humor always targeted what they saw as my weak spots, never my wins. It got me second-guessing myself, wondering if maybe they were right, if those flaws defined me more than I thought. Here's where it gets real. People who keep joking like this aren't usually doing it out of love. It's a sneaky way to test how much you'll let slide, a quiet power move to keep you in check while they dodge any real accountability. They're signaling, without saying it, that they see themselves above you. The wild part? Society's wired us to think if we can't handle a joke, we're the problem. But I'm flipping that on its head today. There's nothing wrong with pushing back when a line's crossed. It's not weakness, it's strength. You deserve people who build you up, not ones who chip away at you for a quick laugh. Real friends don't need to highlight your stumbles to feel big. They cheer your highs and help you through the lows without turning you into their punchline. Now, if you're vibing with this so far, hit that subscribe button and join the Stoic Michael crew. We're all about cutting through the fluff and getting to the truth. Stick around for more. Back to the point. Letting these jabs slide might seem like the easy route, but it's a slow burn. Over time, those little comments can erode how you see yourself, leaving you questioning your worth. All because you didn't want to rock the boat. I learned this the hard way. By laughing it off, I was basically handing them the green light to keep going. It wasn't until I started setting boundaries, calling it out, that things shifted. Not only did their behavior change, but I started owning my story instead of letting their words shape it. So next time someone jokes at your expense, pause and ask, is this actually funny, or is there something deeper here? If it's the latter, don't shy away from speaking up. It might shake things up, maybe even cost you a connection, but your self-worth is worth more than their cheap shots. Next, let's talk about those compliments that don't feel quite right. You've probably gotten one before. Someone says something nice, but it leaves you with a weird vibe, like a soft punch wrapped in silk. I had this happen once after pouring my heart into a project I was proud of. Shared it with some folks I trusted, and one of them said, "Wow, this is solid. Better than I'd expect from you." On the surface, it sounded positive, but that last bit, "from you," hit me sideways. What was that supposed to mean? Was I not supposed to be capable of something good? These backhanded compliments are tricky. They're dressed up as praise, but they're really there to keep you in your lane. It's a subtle flex, a way for them to lift themselves up while nudging you down, all while you're left wondering if you're overthinking it. The truth is, people who drop these lines often feel threatened by you. They see your potential, and it rattles them, so they toss out these half-baked compliments to keep you doubting yourself. It's not about you. It's their insecurity talking. I've caught myself doing it too, unintentionally letting a little envy slip out in a comment. But here's the key. You don't have to eat it up. When someone says, "You're sharper than you seem," or "This is decent for a beginner," you can push back. I started replying with, "Thanks, but what's that supposed to mean?" It flips the script, makes them face the dig they buried in there. More often than not, they back off quick. Your value isn't up for debate. Surround yourself with people who can celebrate you without tacking on a sly jab. Here's a little trigger for you in the comments. Drop "They know my worth" if you've ever had to deal with these fake friends, or share a story about a time you called out a shady compliment. I'd love to hear how you handled it. Moving on, let's talk about exclusion. Ever notice how some people forget to loop you in on plans? You see pics pop up online, dinners, hangouts, trips, and realize you weren't even in the group. Chat, they'll swear it was a fluke. "Oh, it was last minute," or "We figured you were tied up." But let's be honest, if they wanted you there, they'd make it happen. I've felt that sting too, scrolling through my feed, seeing a crew I thought I was tight with living it up at an event I'd have loved, and not one of them thought to clue me in. When I asked about it, the excuses piled up, but the message was clear. I wasn't on their radar. This isn't just carelessness, it's a choice. They're sending a signal without the guts to say it outright, hoping you'll just drift away, quietly. It's spineless, sure, but it's also way too common. We don't talk about it much because it's easier to buy the excuses than face the fact that you're being edged out. But here's the shift I made. I stopped swallowing it. I'd call it out. "Hey, saw you all went out. Why didn't I hear about it?" Yeah, it's awkward, but it forces the truth into the open. Some got defensive, others tried to patch it up, but either way, I wasn't letting myself be an afterthought anymore. You deserve to be included by people who value you, not chasing. After a spot at their table, then there's the busy excuse. You've heard it. "I'm slammed right now, can't meet up." Fair enough, life gets hectic. But when they're always free for everyone else, posting their adventures, yet somehow too swamped for you, it's not about their calendar. It's about where you rank. I had a friend like this. Every time I'd try to catch up, it was, "Work's crazy," or "Next week maybe." Then I'd see them out with others. No problem. It hit me hard. They weren't busy. They were busy for me. People make time for what matters to them. If you're always getting the "maybe later" line, it's a polite dodge. They're keeping you at arm's length without owning up to it. I finally confronted it, and yeah, it was tense, but it gave me clarity. You shouldn't have to beg for someone's time. Relationships shift, and that's okay. Sometimes you outgrow people, or they outgrow you. The strength comes in letting go, not clinging to scraps. You're worth more than someone's spare minutes. I remember sitting there after that confrontation, heart pounding, palms sweaty, wondering if I'd just torched a bridge or built a new one to myself. It wasn't easy. Calling someone out never is. But the moment I spoke up, something clicked. I'd been chasing after this person's attention for months, tossing out casual invites, hoping they'd bite. Every "I'm busy" or "maybe later" felt like a pebble in my shoe. Small, but annoying enough to make every step uncomfortable. And yet, I kept walking, convincing myself it was no big deal, that they'd come around eventually. Spoiler alert, they didn't. That conversation, though? It was a wake-up call. I laid it out plain and simple. "Hey, I've been trying to connect, but it's always the same excuse. What's really going on?" The air got thick. Their eyes darted around like they were searching for an escape hatch, and the stammered response was a mess of half-truths. "Oh, you know, life's just crazy right now." Sure, I thought. Crazy enough to hang out with everyone else but me. It wasn't the words that hit me. It was the silence after, the unspoken truth hanging there like a storm cloud. They didn't value me the way I'd valued them, and no amount of patience was going to change that. That's when I realized. I'd been begging for crumbs when I deserved a seat at the table. Here's the thing about relationships. They're not static. They ebb and flow, twist and turn, And sometimes they just fade out like an old song you used to love. And that's not a failure, it's life. People grow, priorities shift, and what once felt like a tight bond can unravel into loose threads. I used to fight that, clinging to connections long past their expiration date because I didn't want to feel the sting of losing them. But there's a quiet power in releasing what doesn't serve you anymore. It's not about bitterness or burning bridges. It's about honoring yourself enough to stop grasping at shadows. You're not a backup plan, a last resort, or someone's "if I've got time" option. You're a priority, or at least you should be to the people who matter. That confrontation didn't just give me clarity about that one person, it rewired how I see my worth. I stopped measuring my value by how much others were willing to give me and started deciding it for myself. It's liberating, but it's also hard as hell. You have to face the fear of being alone, of empty spaces where those familiar faces used to be. But here's what I've learned. Those spaces don't stay empty for long.
When you stop pouring energy into one-sided relationships, you make room for the ones that actually fit. Who you are now, not who you used to be. It's like pruning a tree. Cutting away the dead branches lets the healthy ones thrive. And yeah,
letting go takes guts. It's not just walking away, it's trusting that you're enough, even without their validation. I had to sit with that for a while, replaying the excuses in my head, wondering if I'd misread the whole thing. Maybe they were busy, I'd tell myself. Maybe I was asking too much. But then I'd see them online, laughing it up with others, and the truth would settle in like a stone. They weren't too busy for life. They were too busy for me. And that's their call, not mine. My job isn't to convince anyone to stick around. It's to keep moving forward, surrounded by people who don't need convincing. You're worth more than someone's spare minutes, or their half-hearted texts, their flaky promises, their "I'll get back to you" that never comes. Time's the one thing we can't get back, and I'll be damned if I waste mine chasing after folks who'd rather keep me on hold. It's not arrogance, it's self-respect. And once you start seeing it that way, you'll spot the patterns faster. The ones who only call when they need something. The ones who vanish when you're the one asking for a hand. Life's too short for that dance, and you don't have to keep spinning in it. Speaking of distance, what about those who dodge? Physical contact like it's a hazard? I'm not just talking romance. Think handshakes, pats on the back, the casual stuff that builds trust. I had a coworker who'd practically leap back if I got too close, but they'd hug everyone else no problem. At first I brushed it off, figuring maybe they were just shy or had a thing about personal space. But then I watched them, warm, open, all smiles with the rest of the crew, arms around shoulders, high fives flying. With me, it was like I carried a force field they couldn't breach. A handshake turned into a weird wave. A friendly nudge became a sidestep. It didn't take a genius to figure out something was off. I'd catch myself overanalyzing it. Did I smell weird that day? Was my vibe throwing them off? But the more I paid attention, the clearer it got. This wasn't about hygiene or awkwardness. They were fine with everyone else, just not me. It clicked one day when we were all in a meeting, and they leaned in close to joke with the guy next to them, then stiffened up the second I joined the convo. That's when it hit me. They were keeping me out, physically and emotionally. It wasn't just about touch. It was a wall, a signal they didn't want me in their circle, and honestly, that stung more than I expected. Here's where it gets interesting. Physical contact isn't just some random habit. It's how we connect, how we show we're cool with each other. A fist bump, a quick hug, even standing close without tension. It's all part of the unspoken language of trust. So when someone's dodging it with you, but not others, it's not a quirk, it's a statement. They're comfortable everywhere else, but with you, there's a barrier. Maybe they don't trust you. Maybe they don't vibe with you, or maybe they just don't want you that close. Whatever it is, their body's spilling the tea their words won't. I started testing it, just to see. I'd step a little closer in a chat, offer a handshake, watch their reaction. Same thing every time. Stiff shoulders, A quick shuffle back. That tight smile that says, please don't. It wasn't subtle once I knew what to look for. And yeah, it hurt. Like, what did I do to earn this? But it also opened my eyes. People can fake a lot with words, but their actions, that's where the truth lives. I stopped brushing it off and started asking myself, why am I fighting to be in a space where I'm clearly not welcome? That's not my burden to carry, it's theirs. It's not always personal. Some folks just aren't touchy. But when it's only with you, it's a sign. They're not comfy, and their body's saying what their words won't. I stopped ignoring it, started asking questions, and it either deepened the connection or showed me it wasn't there. You deserve people who don't flinch at you, literally or figuratively. Lastly, the big one, they vanish when you need them. I went through a rough patch once, reached out to people I thought had my back, and got nothing. Excuses galore. I'm swamped. I'll check in soon, but no follow-through. Meanwhile, I'd been there for their lows. It hurt, but it taught me. Real support shows up when it's tough, not just when it's fun. Those who ghost when you're down aren't just flaky. They're showing their limits. Let them go and cherish the ones who stay. Life's too short for half-hearted bonds. If this hit home, subscribe to the Stoic Michael for more real talk and drop "They Know My Worth" or your own story in the comments. Let's keep this convo going. See you next time.